We're waiting for somebody to solve the situation, but the solution starts with us. The garbage is full. Garbage needs to be taken out. We wait for somebody to come in and be the savior and say, we're going to take care of this. But we're the ones who have to take care of it. Sometimes we got to seek within and try small steps to get to where we want to go.
Hello, my people, and welcome to another taping of Sit, Sip, and Chat. To those of you in the crowd, thank you guys for being here again. My name is Glenda York of GCY Initiative, which is a destination marketing initiative based on the island of St. Martin. And Sit, Sip, and Chat is basically where I sit with different persons in the community that are doing awesome things that we want to highlight and celebrate. So, I don't have to introduce Sigma because everyone here knows Sigma already. But I'm still going to give a little mini intro that I have prepared. So if it hopefully tells you something that you may not have known, maybe remind you of something, make you a little extra impressed about the man that we're going to be talking to today. So here we go. Sigma is a lyrical virtuoso representing the vibrant beats and cultural tapestry of St. Martin. Sigma's songs paint a vivid picture of island life, blending the warmth of reggae, the bounce of calypso, and the grit of hip-hop into an irresistible sonic fusion. Growing up amid the sun-kissed landscape post-Hurricane Lewis, Sigma's passion for music was ignited by the rhythmic waves crashing against the sandy shores. With the heartfelt verses that mirror the island's resilience, struggles, and triumphs, Sigma's artistry has become a powerful voice for the community. From performing at local beach bars, captivating the biggest stages, Sigma Defense's infectious energy and authentic storytelling continue to bridge cultural and uplift spirits. Embracing his roots while embracing global influences, Sigma stands tall as St. Martin's lyrical ambassador to the world.
Oh, it's nice.
So it sounds about right?
Yeah, thank you.
See?
It's
Making
nice,
sense.
it's a nice one,
The
yeah.
people understand what it is I'm saying?
She's like, all of that.
All of that he did. And it's interesting and it's cool because for as long as he's been doing this, it's always with a message. So this is my third time now interviewing Sigma. Nice, right?
Yeah, right.
On his going out tour before, when he decided he's going to take a step back from music and performing and all of that.
Performing. Yeah.
Correction.
I never stopped making music.
You're right. You did specify. It was performing. He was nice enough to grant me an interview before he officially stopped doing interviews and all of that. You can find that on YouTube on GCY Initiative. Shameless plug. And then we recently did part one of this interview before it airs, just talking about his journey to get here, the music, the new music that's coming out, the path that led him to his place where he is in life right now. And then now we're here, and we're going to listen to the new music. We're going to vibe with it. We're going to ask him some questions about how he got to here, what inspired this, who girl he was talking about here, who man he wanted to fight here. All of those things, we're going to just ask him the questions, put him on the spot a little bit, and have vibes. Sounding good? Yeah? Okay, right. And before we continue, before we go any further, before we get into all of that, we of course have to highlight where we are. We are here at Axum Art Cafe. We definitely thank them for hosting us and hosting this interview today. I am having myself, we can pick up the art cafe, I am having myself an iced latte, which they make coffees. You like coffees, you want something to drink. Axum got you, pass up. Take a look around at the artwork because every single time you come in here, there is beautiful art on the walls. They have a nice setup with their decor. It is always a vibe, so if you are in the area, in the town area, definitely make sure you pass, you visit Axum Art Cafe. If you've never been here, make sure you tell them that you heard about it on Sit, Sip, and Chat, the interview with Sigma, so they know exactly where, so then the next time I ask them to come back, they will host me again.
Boom.
Yes.
Big up Axum.
And with that, I think it's time for vibes.
Yeah, sure.
Let's go to the first song. Tell us about the song and.
All right, so some of you already heard my project, Blame Yourself. It's a 3-track project that has Blame Yourself being the title track, 2x2, and Who Do You Care For? And the song is about heartbreak, but also about reconciliation and moving forward. That's what the project, that first one was about. My idea was to create a healing process over 3 acts. Some people say that I can be very theatrical, right? And that I kind of bring a little bit of that into the music and in the videos and my style. So I said, okay, why not do this for an album? And instead of making it one album, beginning to end, 19 tracks, split it up into 3.
Why 3?
Because I feel like the best books have more than one chapter. And in movies, usually when you pass 3, it gets a little weird and inconsistent. So, you know, the best things are in 3s, I think. So what I wanted to do, and my idea is to go from blaming yourself to loving yourself, you know? And there's that in-between. And the next project that I'm going to release is going to be that in-between.
Okay.
But before I got to that, I said, all right, let me do some remixes. So we had Blame Yourself, and then we had Blame Yourself for the remixes. Some of you might have heard that one, some of you might not have heard it. But I'll play you the selection from the last 4 tracks.
Okay.
And then you can kind of see where the next project is going to go, because it does not sound the same. Nothing is going to sound the same.
Nothing Sigma Do sounds the same.
That's true. But there's a kind of style that some people kind of look forward to. They know that I'm going to say something a little crazy in a song or a little bit off in a song to see if you're paying attention. But they'll also know that I always try to find something that's kind of groovy and something that has some kind of wit and some kind of soul in it. And that's kind of where I want to go with the project. But every song is going to sound a little different. Another thing too is throughout the whole project, there's a connection, a theme, and there's certain links that link one song to the next song, okay, but it's not immediately after the song. So something that you're going to hear from Blame Yourself, a riff, a note, a leitmotif, might show up in Trust Yourself, or it might show up in Love Yourself. So it's this kind of link.
You're making them work.
In a way,
yeah.
In a way.
It's a good vibe to have, because when you hear people talking about certain artists, you hear them talking about, oh, but you have to pay attention to this because there's always a meaning, there's always a thing. It makes your fans know to pay attention. And the new fans that are coming in are gonna know, listen, you can't just listen for listening's sake. Yeah. You gotta pay attention to the words, and if you're watching the videos, pay attention to what's happening, because there's significance in what's being presented to you.
That's a very good point.
That's
all right,
what I'm here for.
You guys ready?
There we go.
Some of you might have heard this one, some of you might not. This song is called Waiting for Someone. Go to my Afrobeat bag. Phone. I'm not gonna play the whole track, huh? I'm not gonna play the whole track.
This sounds.
All right, so that one is called Waiting for Someone. Now, because of the time, I'm not gonna play the whole tracks. Don't get sad. You wanna hear the whole thing. But with Waiting for Someone, I think it's very obvious, right? With that one.
Waiting for someone?
Yeah, but it's also about being responsible enough to know that you got to pick yourself up and keep moving. Sometimes that you feel like giving up, and a lot of times people feel like they need somebody else to help them get out of their situations. So we just wait for something to happen. Example, the garbage is full. Garbage needs to be taken out. We wait for somebody to come in and be the savior and say, we're going to take care of this. But we the ones who have to take care of it. And when I say the garbage, I mean the dump, right? We have a situation there, dump still burning. You got a situation there that is out of control in a way. And we're waiting for somebody to solve the situation, but the solution starts with us.
Yep.
If we sort out our trash, that's a small way of starting this thing up. If we take some responsibility on what we throw out, you know, recycling things. We can't always wait for somebody else to come in and have the solution. Sometimes we got to seek within and try small steps to get to where we want to go.
Okay. So we play a snippet of this one,
Yes,
and then
please.
we'll dip out into a commercial break type vibes.
Yes, please.
Okay, there we go.
All right. Do I play the next one?
Play the next one.
All right, so this next one is called Toxic Baby, right? And this one is, well, listen to it. It's very short, so I can play the whole thing.
There you go.
I'm toxic, baby. I don't want you talking to nobody else. I know that we separated and things just might be a little complicated. But you're still mine. You're still mine. Be your body, delicious and sweet. Play with your mental, let me in between. Got you wide open and wet like the beach. Say that you want me, make you have my dreams. Leave your worries behind, it's what you ask for. Let me explore your mind, I need no passport. Baby, just keep it real, I'm the man for. Tell me that you want me just in the same. I'm toxic, baby. I don't want you talking to nobody else. I know that we're separated and things just might be a little complicated. But you're still mine. You're still mine. And I'm cool. That's what I'm thinking about. You thinking about. I'm asking myself, how did I live without you? Baby, got you all in your heart. I build a bridge to touch you. Driving over the hills, put it in and out. Capture the images, but I see right through you, see right through you. If I could do it all over again, I always choose you, always choose. But since you left it all there, you know that I've got to lose you, got to lose you. We under the spell, but I've got to kill that from you. Yeah, I'm toxic, baby. I don't want you talking to nobody else. I know that we're separated and things just might be a little complicated. But you're still mine. You're still mine. I'm toxic, baby. I don't want you talking to nobody else. I know that we're separated and things just might be a little complicated. But you're still mine. You're still mine.
And with that,
Pick up.
we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Joining us. Remember, new episodes premiere every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 8 p.m. on TV 15 and across other social media platforms.
I'm Jasenia Lassiter, wishing you a wonderful week.
Stay friendly, St. Martin.
I wanted to, because what I've been doing for the past few years, I've been releasing remixes on my songs.
Yes.
So I would take a song, and if it got some buzz, I'll do an electronic remix, Afrobeat remix, a soca remix, a Latin remix,
Catch
salsa. Everybody,
Yeah.
right? And some of them, they go further than the actual song. So with this project, I was so attached to it, and the response I got to it was very high. I said, all right, let me just do a remix. But, and this is behind the scenes, what happened was a lot of the local producers that I'd reach out to, they either didn't send me finished stuff or they sent me nothing. So me being the kind of guy that I am, everybody knows I'm very relentless and I don't stop until I get what I want. So yes, perseverance. Simple tune? Yeah, you know. So what I did is I went and talked to some other guys overseas. And this is the problem we have here on St. Martin, right? Sometimes your own people don't do for you. And you got to go outside.
You have to do what you have to do.
And you got to do what you got to get done.
You got to get progressive.
So I got some other guys to do the remixes, and I was happy with the remixes, you know. The remixes, some did better than others. I haven't done a full push on the remixes. But I said, for the people who listened to the first project, okay, remixes is nice, but I want to bless them with some extra things that I was working on. To kind of give them a preview of where I'm going to be going. So that's why I added 4 new tracks to the project. So for Blame Yourself for the remixes, there's 4 new songs.
So it's like when the artist released the first album and then they release, what do you call it, a double album or what do you call it?
Deluxe or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Exactly.
So you release your deluxe album and then call it remixes.
Yeah, Blame Yourself for the remixes.
All right, so this is for Blame Yourself for the remixes.
Yeah, exactly. So these are like some of the bonus tracks that you would get there.
So then my question with Toxic Baby, right, is you're blaming yourself. So I told you I was toxic. You knew what it was, and we still went ahead. That's the vibe.
That's that. Yeah.
That's the vibe I get here just now.
So I guess you could see it that way. What I was thinking when I wrote it was, for me, like I get influenced by a lot of music as well, right? And what I do when I record, I kind of put myself in isolation and listen to certain songs. And one of the things I was listening to a lot of at that time when I recorded that song was Chris Brown.
Okay.
And Chris Brown has the album 1111. There's some tracks, a very good album. A lot of tracks on that kind of gave me this vibe and some introspection as well. So when I got the beat, the producer was like, yo, this is the guideline on what we have. What do you think? And I was like, all right, cool. I'll re-sing that, and then I'll add in my own parts into it. So with the creation of the hook and the inspiration I got from the music I was listening to, I said, all right, let me go straight into it. The beat to me sounded like Timbaland, right? And it just missing a little bit of the beatboxing of his mouth. But in the second part of it, you'll see that I kind of did a little bit of that. 1 minute I'm cool, next one I'm thinking about you. I wanted to kind of capture a little, because that kind of beat also made me feel a little bit like Timbaland too. So I was like, all right, cool, let's drop that on there. So I wanted to make it raw, very raw, very like, because I feel like that's kind of the wave too. But I think people could appreciate that more when you come from a place of authenticity and just be like real about it and say, look, this is what it is. This is how I feel about it. Take it how you want. But I got to take care of myself. Peace. You know? So that was the kind of thing.
Then it is what it is. On to the next one. And wait, we have an audience. Does the audience have any questions, any insights to offer?
Well, I have a question to ask.
Do we?
So
A
you
mic?
said that Chris Brown basically was an inspiration among us. What else was your inspiration to create?
For this project?
Yes.
So you're going to hear some of it in the later parts, but like I said, a lot of times I go into isolation and I listen to maybe like 2 albums constantly nonstop. And in my head, when I hear the beats or when I'm making a beat, there's like a melody that kind of goes into my head, you know? Sometimes I'd be chilling, like, you know, Simple Tune and I, we write songs together sometimes, and we would just go driving around and we'd listen to beats and we'd just be like, boom, bam, you know, these things would come in our head. But we would listen to other songs too. So to answer that one directly, not to get too all over the place, for that song in particular, I would say Timbaland, Chris Brown. The one that I played before that one, that was just me. There was nothing that I was really hearing that was a singer or a performer that sounded like that. In it, there's a little bit of that. I don't know, I have a weird way how I listen to Carnival music. Some people listen to Carnival music and they hear the rhythm and then they hear the lyrics, but they don't break it down in pieces. For me, my mind, when I hear a Carnival beat, I hear, and I'm not talking about the groovy soca, calypso. I'm talking about straight up jam band road march music. I hear like like a horn.
Yeah.
So in that other track, I had that in there. You might not hear it, but it's in there because I got influenced by that in my whole life. You know, I live in Cold Bay. The trucks just go right over my house. You know what I'm saying? So that stuff influenced that. And also Afrobeat. You know, I also DJ as well. So I've been listening to a lot of, you know, I'm a piano, Afrobeat. Those kind of things kind of getting me into that vibe. So the first beat, the first track that you heard, Waiting for Someone, that one, I made that beat.
Nice.
That was all Sigma. Lyrics, everything. And when the lyrics were inspired by a time I was at Mullet Bay by myself, early in the morning. Sometimes after a run, I go to Mullet Bay and just go in the water, real quick, dip, come out, and go to work. And this time I was there for quite some time because I had nothing to do at work. And I was like, screw work. I can just chill out here on the beach until my first meeting.
Must be
And
nice.
I'm a bad boy. Huh? But what I'm saying is I was just there thinking, and I was like thinking about what it would feel like if it was the different time and you're watching the sunset and you're feeling alone, because I was alone. I was very much in an isolation mode and very much feeling alone. And you know, everybody feels alone sometimes. We all sometimes feel like we're like nobody understands us. Nobody is gonna, you know, be there when we come back, or you know, whatever. And these are the things I kind of wanted to explore, but touch on them in a way that wasn't too specific for that song. Just kind of give it a nice package to bring out there for everybody to hear. So that's kind of what that inspiration was.
Okay.
There's another song, I guess after the break, we'll talk about that one. It's called Slow Wine. That one has a very juicy story, so yeah.
Ooh, we like juicy stories. Okay, so then with that, we're gonna go take another break. I'm gonna have a sip. Sigma, you sip nothing yet, so.
Oh yeah, I need to get a drink. Menlik, what's going on?
Sigma, you lapse in.
Zaga.
It's sit, sip, and chat.
You got my thing in the ice there. Bring that for me, please.
God, it can't take so much people nowhere. We'll be right back.
Before there was the written word, there was the spoken word. And it's a timeless tradition that I hope can continue going on long after I'm gone. So beyond just the music, having this opportunity to sit here and talk with you and with all of these people who support my music, because you guys always support my stuff. And you know, I just meet you and appreciate you being here.
Thank you for coming.
But to be able to talk to y'all at one time instead of having to tell you when I see you, tell you when I see you, tell you when I see you, you know, this is nice.
Yeah.
You know, so I want to big y'all up. So let me know when you want to come back.
Huh?
Let me know when you want to come back.
We've been.
Oh, we back?
Let's see. Again. Storyteller, we have to capture everything.
Of course.
For the purposes. So what we're going to do, we're going to go into slow wine.
Yes.
Slow wine is part of remixes as well.
Yes.
And then we want to give, we see how about time permitting, we
Yes.
give one or two for
Trust yourself.
trust yourself, and then it's love yourself.
You
So
got
we'll
it.
do trust yourself.
Beautiful.
And then we'll get them the little tears, and then they're going to be look for it, and
Yeah.
then love yourself, they're going
We're
to
going
figure
to
that
do that
part.
on the beach.
Ooh, we could figure
You
that part
remember that
out.
one, right?
I remember that one.
Okay, good.
Anyway,
All right.
so we'll put a slow wine on and get the people to taste of the slow wine.
Got a question.
Then we'll get into the juicy story. We have a question from our audience.
You asked Mr. Zaga what inspires his artwork for his albums and his singles, his music's artwork.
Sir, the lovely crowd would like to know what inspires your artwork for your albums.
Well, you could see that there's different periods in my art. Yeah, different themes. With Abandoned Ship, which was the first album that I put out there for the world, that one was about, it was about the environment, about, you know, St. Martin, you know, but showing it from a future punk sort of, future Afro-punk, Carib punk kind of vibe. So yes, that was the wave. The first one was Dreamland. And Dreamland was the first single off of that one. I didn't know what I was doing. I did Dreamland. And that one has a whale in the sky, me looking up at the whale, and I'm on a desert. Basically, I have some crazy dreams sometimes.
It would seem so. It would seem
Yeah.
so.
So for that project, most of the artwork was either me in a strange situation. There's a song called Stranger Times, which was supposed to be on that, but I didn't put that on that. Half of my head is gone, and there's a bunch of stuff floating out of it. Yeah, birds having flown. I'm at the waterfront, chilling, looking cool or whatever. I had just gotten new shoes. I was feeling myself. And there was a fake moon in the background with a bunch of birds flying across it, you know? And I always try to make the artwork just as much of a extension of my creativity as the music
That makes complete sense.
and the videos too.
So everything Sigma does, and I'm going to keep repeating it because I'm realizing it's a recurring theme as we're sitting here. Your stuff just has layers to
Yeah.
it. There is nothing surface level about Sigma and his art.
It can be,
It can be, but it's not you.
yeah, but it makes it more fun, I think, if you go deeper and beneath the surface and get the whole experience.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of time with art, especially now in the digital age, you hear a song, a new song, and it's like blah, you know? We play it in that moment, we enjoy it in that moment,
then
but you
it's
think,
forgotten.
I'm not gonna go back and listen to that again. You know, it's just for that moment and I'm done with it. What I want to do for my music, and whenever I work with other artists like Simple or, you know, Menelik or with Jizzle, I always try to give a story for the song. So whether people follow me on Instagram, where I post a lot of the you know, the acts of the story, it all fits and molds into something that is an experience that you feel meta at the time of the creation. But then beyond the creation point, you also have the artwork, you have the videos, and some of the other documentation that I put out there. So it's something to be experienced now that you'll never experience again. But then there's another part of that experience as the aftertaste that'll last a lot longer.
He said the aftertaste.
Yeah.
Aye. Let's get into Slow Wine.
All right, so this song is called Slow Wine. And then we could talk about the story after.
The lovely story behind of it.
All right. You see, for this one, I didn't put nothing.
It's simple.
Yeah. So you hear me screaming in the background of the song? Like, yeah. I like to do that shit in my songs.
Okay.
Yeah, right? Yeah, that's Slow Wine, guys.
Yeah. There-
Thank you.
It's a nice song.
Thank you. Yeah.
I want to hear the story behind the song.
So I always wanted to do a song. I always wanted to do a song that people could dance to. And I have songs that people can dance to. I Am More, thank you, Manelik, for that blessing, bro. For I Am More? Yeah. So I Am More is another track that I have there that's kind of like a little Latin rhythm. I always wanted to do something people could dance to, all right, for years. And it's something that I wanted to do, but I wanted to do it my way. I didn't want to do it everybody else's way. Everybody hop on a rhythm, boom, bam, and they're done with it. They got to be my way, Sigma's way, I guess. So there was another song before this I recorded, but with this song, in particular, what I wanted to do, I was in Curacao with this girl, and we had a nice time together. And when we came back, I was so inspired by the vibes and the whole thing. I started kind of writing something. Somebody sent me a beat one day, and they were like, yo, Sigma, and I might get in trouble for this. I don't remember who it was who sent me the beat, right? But he sent me this beat, and he was like, look, bro, you got to write something to this. So I listened to it. I was in Barbados, and I recorded the hook. Not a hook, I recorded the first verse. I never met a girl so stylish. I never met a girl so shyest. I feel our love could blow. You know, something like that. And then, as I was thinking about it, somebody just kept coming into my head. I kept seeing her dance to this. So, when I saw her, I played the beat for her, and I was like, yo, what do you think of this? She was like, I see where you're going. This is something I could dance to. And I was like, yes. Yes.
Like the magic words.
So, because she's a dancer, so I was like, if she could dance, if she feeling the vibe and she could dance to that, I was like, yes, that's what I want. So I sat on that beat. For months. I was listening to that beat, recorded a bunch of other tracks, forgot about it. Then one day I was going through, I had some people over and we were going through some of my unreleased stuff. And that's what I do. I invite people over to my house and we listen to my songs that ain't finished yet. You know the vibe. And this song came up and I was gonna take it off. And they were like, no, leave it up, just someplace. I was like, all right, cool, put it up. And it was a demo. And the demo version of it, I can let you guys hear it if you want. You're like, no. But the demo version of it it's not finished. It's just the first verse and that's it. And they were like, yo, if you expand on that, that could work. So as I'm running every damn day, the lyrics just came to my head. And I kept sending my muse the lyrics. And I was like, look, I want your help with this. What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And with the feedback I got, I started developing and putting together the track. And there's a line in there there's a couple lines in there that are very like inside jokes, you know?
Between you and her, or you and
Between me and her.
Okay.
But at the same time too, I wanted to make it something that people in Curacao could listen to on the radio and enjoy it. People in Aruba could listen to it and enjoy it. Something that could play in Mexico and people could enjoy it. Something that could play in Africa, people enjoy it. Nigeria, Ghana, in the States, Europe. And that was Slow Wine, you know? When I finally put it out there, at first I was like, yo, you know, you inspired this song. And she was like, that you did all the work. I didn't do anything. I said the song wouldn't exist without your input and without your inspiration. And sometimes, you know, people be like that. They don't want to take the credit for it, which is fine. Because currently the song is number 3 on the digital DJ pool. Yep. So it's, yeah. In 24 hours, that song had the most listens that I've ever had for any song, honestly. And the feedback I've been getting from people has been more like this, do this. I like that.
Like this song.
They like that song. And it's a long time coming because it was something that I had meaning to do for years.
Yeah.
You know, people in 2016, 2018, I put up, what do you guys want to hear from Sigma? You want to hear an R&B album? You want to hear a Zouk album? You want to hear a rap album? And most people say they wanted an R&B album. And I think in a way I kind of gave them that R&B album that they've been asking for so long, you know? So it took almost 10 years, but I'm finally here.
Okay. So then, and that is it, my people. We were here with Sigma on the orange, matching my nails, on the orange chairs here at Axum Art Cafe. Again, we thank Axum for hosting us. I thank Sigma for being here and giving us the insights into his vibes. And giving us the insight into his vibes for what was going on to create these albums here for us. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you to my live audience, first time. And until the next time, my people, have an awesome day further, and we'll see you on the next time.
This is all extra.
Oh, this is extra. This is bonus tracks.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
It's the bonus
Content.
tracks, yes. So we could cuss all about it, wasn't it, all right?
Yeah. I need to know when it's 12 o'clock though, because then it's still.
Wait, before we do that, I gotta say something real quick. Once again, thank y'all for coming, huh? Real talk. Like, I call all you I tell all you come early in the morning, like, bruh.
Saturday.
On
On a Saturday, no, dog.
Yo, that sleep
You're
was
like,
good,
oh,
yo.
shit. I know, for you especially, you'd never show up on time.
I take myself on one time, please.
Yes, please. Yes. Kizzy, this wasn't a drink.
Anything for a good friend.
It was in a can. Thank you, memes. Thank you. For real, enough love.
Oh, yeah,
it was in a can, bro.
Ting ain't paying us.
Yeah,
Ting
no,
distributors
plus,
ain't paying us.
it's not
So,
good for
yeah.
man to be drinking, you know. Sorry, guys, I come right back. You remember what it was? No. It was the white can, the white claw.
Oh, he makes
The
it.
white claw. Yeah, it was a white claw. Yeah.
Got to go like exquisite on the day.
Yeah, no, Rude Boy don't pay me anymore, so
Oh, that's what going on.
I stopped drinking Rude Boy.
Else we would have been up here drinking some Rude Boys. But
Can I have a glass too, please?
That's what going on.
Huh?
They came back to the place.
You know,
Inside joke.
you know, life goes on. And I think when you live in your truth, right, you have more freedom because then nobody could ever hurt you.
Right.
You know who you are. But if you keep lying to yourself and you keep lying to people that care about you, then you find yourself in a very bad situation. You want this?
Tight situation.
In a-
Did you say links to that?
I don't like the Rude Boy so much.
yeah, links and Rex. Because I wanted to say something in Papimento.
pause. Thought we said short on them. Never mind.
Yeah, that's why. So that's why for that song I also had a little Papimento in there, you know, just to kind of give it a swag. That producer was actually from Mexico.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he got a long ass name. Don't ask me. His name is Daniel, right? And I've been having a lot of headache getting that song cleared.
Because?
Yeah,
Why?
it's a lot of crap. So I bought the beat, spent a lot of money on it, right? Because I believe in the song, and
Turn out well.
he turned out very good. And I like the fact that he communicated with me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I bought the beat. He talked to me. He sent me the contract, got everything. But what happened is he had licensed that beat to some other guys before. So when I released my songs, I got copyright strike. I was like, bro, I have the rights to use this beat. So I had to go into my law knowledge hat, and I had to go and send the contracts, send all of the legal documentation, send all of this paperwork. It was a lot of fun. So I learned a lot that day, those weeks, sorry. And I just been fighting them off every time they come because it's something that he did on his side, but you know, I understand, you know, you gotta get your money. Yeah, you gotta get your money. But for me, when I hear the other tracks, they don't sound nowhere close to this. So if you do stumble on those other tracks, you'll know what I'm talking about.
But if your song was the whack one, they wouldn't even bother harassing.
Exactly, right? And that's a good way to look at it. For me, the song, I really believed in the song. I think it has a good vibe. I think it's something that people need to hear different. You understand? And that's why I wanted to do that. Now we're gonna move on because I want y'all to hear this other track. So,
Yeah. So what are we moving on to?
so this song I'm gonna play next is called Flip Side.
And this is from
This is from
Love.
Blame. We're gonna go real
This
quick
is
over
a Blame Yourself.
remixes.
And then we're going
Then
over
we're going
to...
over to Trust. I'm gonna play two
Okay.
songs from Trust.
Okay.
Trust Yourself is actually done. That project is complete. Thank you.
When we can expect to start hearing it out in the public.
You might hear it in February.
Okay.
Might mess around and drop it for Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Sound like a thing.
Get a little spicy with it, you know? 14th. Or Side Chick Day, 15th. So,
Side check this on nothing.
yeah. You know?
Heavy random music.
Sometimes getting some is better than getting none. Ah, Lord.
Amen.
I know the crowd I'm talking to.
Oh, goodness me.
I wouldn't say this if Clara was here. So, flip side. So, some people know me, they know I like all kinds of music. You know what I mean? I listen to Linkin Park. The new album was actually pretty good. I listen to Sade. I listen to some, 80s stuff. You know what I'm saying? Some 50s stuff. I go all over the world.
Same.
What am I going to do to kind of prove that I like to be in that zone, right? So, I like to listen to Australians, their music, and people from New Zealand because they're very experimental.
Okay.
Active Child, Kimbra, even Gautier. I think Gautier, he's from, that
Can
kind
you
of.
send me a link to any of those artists? Because I want to hear what the music sounds
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Sure. So, and listen to Lenny Kravitz. There was a moment of Lenny Kravitz and Creed, with arms wide open. So, hey, take me higher.
Yes.
So people who know me from my teens, they know I listen to a lot of stuff. So I say, all right, let me do a song that kind of gives a little bit of, let's see if I could do it. So here we go. Flip side.
Run it.
See you on the flip side. Nobody will know. And if I say I won't try, then I will let it show.
Gives it 90s punk rock.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Nobody will know. If I say I won't try,
I won't let it show. Yeah.
and you say that I'm dangerous, but baby, we're not strangers.
Just tell me where you wanna go. Forgive my bad behavior, but you know that I'll save ya. Lick you all over till you go. Yeah.
You said lick you all over? Just making sure I heard it correctly.
For the gal there, A little bit of that dance hall, and can't help myself.
Gotta have your Caribbean roots. Right here.
Nobody will know. And if you say I won't try, then I won't let it show. Hey, see you on the flip side. Nobody will know. If I say I won't try, then I won't let it show. Yeah. And you say that I'm dangerous, but baby, we're not strangers. Just tell me where you want.
So in the background, I'm like doing like a choir kind of opera.
It's the details.
Yeah, so I'd be trippy, right? Yeah.
I
So
was gonna say.
there's more to it, but I can leave you out with that one for that song. The thing is like for me, I wanted to experiment, and that's experiment, right?
Yeah.
A little bit of rock, a little bit of 50s, rockabilly in there.
Anybody
bit
had a
of
little
opera.
flashback to the 90s?
Yeah.
90s punk rock? We was there together? Okay, good. 90s punk rock.
Yeah,
I think
that's
this was a little nostalgic feel. You had me there a little bit with that.
You're right about that. And what you were asking, when am I going to bring out a fully experimental project? Every project is a fully experimental.
Sonically,
Oh, I see what you mean. You mean like all of them out there?
I love that song. But if that was on playing yourself, I'd be like,
Yeah, where the hell I come from? So that's why I put it on the remix project.
sonically, you want to feel a project, but just like you,
Yeah.
I isolate too. I
Yeah.
put on this project on repeat for 3 days in the Jeep.
Oh man, nice.
or
Thank
3
you.
weeks in the Jeep.
Thank you.
So sonically, that there would pull me away from what's going on with playing yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
The whole day. So that's what I mean when I want to feel. When we're gonna get all of those together.
So here's the thing. That's a good one though, because
The same thing I told you about Steve Carino and
Zaga, you mean the Zaga project?
Saga Project.
Yeah,
The Zaga project.
yes, this is a underground
I
legend.
There's 3 different artists.
There you go.
3 different genres at least. He could always bend his music into 3 different genres.
Yeah.
That's what I'm about.
Ben never break
Gotcha.
Don't break.
Never break.
and never bow.
Boom.
Anyway, so
Depends who you talk to. Okay. Continue.
so yeah, you know, to give you a quick one on that one. For me, it's what I feel at the time. This would match up with a song like Vagina Girl. Exactly. You know, I wanna be, which is a love song. Okay, don't let anybody fool you. It's not a song about sex. It's about love, and sex just happened to be a part of that. But love, it's about love. And Birds Having Flown would probably be on a project like that. You know, maybe Stranger Times even. But you know, the good thing about, and I thought about that because I was going to do a concept album called Book of Dreams, right? That was when I was in Dominican Republic. I was over there on a vacation. I came back and I had these vivid dreams and I wrote them down in a book and they inspired some songs. And some of the songs came out. Birds Having Flown was actually going to be on that. In Search of Normal was going to be on that. Stranger Times. You know. Yeah, man, it's a big tune. And some of those songs were going to be on that, but I said, nah, I'm not going to do that anymore. Screw it. I'm just going to do what I feel like doing when I feel like doing it. If you know what I'm saying. So with Blame Yourself, it's only 3 tracks. But the magic about the 3 tracks is every time you listen to it, you're hearing something different that you didn't hear the first time you heard it. And then you can break it down and hear different things. I was lucky that I had Suki, who was working with me on that project, you know?
Nice.
And we were working on her stuff. And I was just playing my beats, and she was like, yo, let's do something on that beat. Let's do something on that beat. And I was like, it's too much now. All right, let's just stick it to these 3 songs. So we ended up doing more songs together, but we're never gonna release them. Don't ask. Y'all never gonna hear them. But y'all got to hear 2 of the songs that we worked on. And those I felt were the strongest songs, which was Who Do You Care For and 2x2.
Before you go any further, for persons that are watching that are not in the room that doesn't know who Suki is,
Ah, yes.
a quick little touch on who is Suki.
So Mary Claire Suki Langlais. Good job. She is a personality, and I think that she's also an entertainer, MC. She's a singer. She's done, you know, projects with different artists. She's also a poet. Yes. She's part of Coffee and Soda Biscuits, and she is really, really talented. A beautiful voice, beautiful person, and she and I always talked about doing something together. We went to high school together. All of us went to high school together.
That's why I told you.
And yeah, and she always like, yeah, Sigma, I like your music. Years passed, you imagine, and decades passed, and then we finally got to collaborate on something, and
There we
people
go.
love it. So everything in its timing, you know.
Exactly. What's the next track we're listening to?
All right, so I'm gonna play you guys something off of Trust Yourself, which is the upcoming project.
So how much of Trust Yourself we play? We getting like 2 little lists.
I was gonna play 1, but I'll give you guys 3 songs.
You give us all 3?
I'll give you 3.
But we ain't
It's
gonna
not
get
all
that.
3 though.
Oh,
This. Yeah.
we'll do a 30-second cap. We ain't
Yeah.
gonna get them all of it. For that exclusive stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we go to it, what's the name of the songs?
Okay.
And short as you can, short description of the songs, and then we're gonna
Yes.
play into the songs.
So, like I said, it's a trilogy. We got Blame Yourself, Trust Yourself, Love Yourself. It's about healing. And it's a little tough, but at the end of it all, you got to come out of it.
Yes.
Whether it's financial hardships, whether it's a broken relationship, whether it's loss of family and friends. Past few years, I've lost a lot of friends, you know. A lot of people that aren't sharing
The
the
journey
space with us
anymore.
right now, you know. A lot of those things inspire me to write about, but it takes a long time because in the moment you feel the anger, you feel the sadness, you feel the hurt, but at the end of it all, you kind of have to learn to trust yourself again, and that's kind of what I wanted to do with this second part, is to go through that. So,
Okay.
shall we?
Yeah.
All
here we
right.
go.
So this first track is called Need Nobody, also known as Trust Yourself. And then this next one is going to be called, the one after that is going to be called Of the Essence. And then the last one that I'm going to play for y'all, this is longer than Blame Yourself, by the way. Because it's quick to blame yourself, it's easy to blame yourself. It's not always so easy to trust yourself, especially
Yeah.
when you make a lot of stupid decisions sometimes.
It takes a minute to get back.
So this one is this project is longer. It ain't 3 tracks. Just gonna let y'all know from now.
Okay.
Trust yourself is
Trust
longer.
yourself is longer.
And love yourself, I ain't gonna tell y'all. So here we go. This one is Need Nobody, also known as Trust Yourself.
This is Need Nobody. Need Nobody.
Yeah.
Never really need nobody. Never really need nobody. Yeah, I was looking for somebody. Only one I'm trusting is myself. They talking and talking, watching and watching, speaking and speaking, and nobody's listening. Never really need nobody. Never really need nobody. Yeah, everybody wants somebody, but everybody only for themselves. They talking and talking, watching and watching, speaking and speaking, and nobody's listening. I try my best to stay away, but all the things follows me. Is this how it's supposed to be? Is this just my foolish fate? I'm always just hustling, take my time rushing, reaching for millions, but starting with hundreds. Right now I am floating, these words I am boring into your mind, and I hope that it's open. Watching and watching me, talking and talk on me, speaking and speaking, but nobody's listening. Never really need nobody. Never really need nobody, yeah. I was looking for somebody. Only one I'm trusting is myself. They talking and talking, begging and watching, speaking and speaking, but nobody's listening.
You're listening to Sigma Defense.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Now, is that you talking to yourself or you letting people know?
Both ways, right?
Yeah, because you're listening, you're pouring this stuff into you're pouring the stuff to your brain.
Yeah.
Now, that's why I asked, like, are you talking to yourself, like telling yourself these things, this is what we went through, this is how we're going to get out of it, this is part of life. So it's like reflective to yourself and then talking to yourself while you're talking to other people kind of vibe. Or just expression of your words.
When I make a song and I'm talking to somebody, I'm talking to everybody and myself at the same time.
Okay.
So when I'm talking to myself in the song, I'm also talking to all of y'all. We all feel sometimes that loneliness and like we can't trust people. Exactly, right? We all feel sometimes we can't trust people. You know, we got our hopes up for somebody or a thing or a project, and then something falls out and it's disappointment. So really at the end of the day, the person you need to trust the most is yourself. Mm-hmm. But you can't trust yourself if you don't know what you are capable of and what you're willing to handle. So this song I wrote, I had just come back from Guyana 2 years ago. Some of these songs I've written a while ago, and I let them boil and simmer before I serve them to you guys on a nice plate and bowl with a beautiful silver spoon gilded with gold patterns.
We appreciate it.
Yeah. So, you know, but I just come back from Guyana. It was crap. Not Guyana. Guyana's a beautiful country, but where I was staying was kind of like, this is the only place we can find for you to stay. And it wasn't, and it was mold in the ceiling, and it was not a nice, and I was in this tiny little room, and every day I had to go to work, and then in the night, I come home late because I'm working from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. sometimes, 7 days a week, and there's no joy. Mm-hmm. You go to work, you come back in that room, and you're in that room. And when I came back to St. Martin, a friend of mine, she called me and she was like, yo, we're going by these people, come. I was like, okay, let's roll. So she picked me up, we went over by this couple's house. And she was like, yeah, you know, they all speak French. I don't speak English. I mean, I don't speak French, I speak English. But I was like, you know, hearing them, and she was like, yo, this guy, he raps. He's like, oh, he raps. So he started playing beats.
Oh.
So dudes were just playing beats, beat after beat, beat after beat. And I was freestyling on a few of them. And we were going at this for like an hour. So I put my phone down and I started to record some of these things. I was like, yo, go back to that beat. And then afterwards, I recorded the demo for this track. And I recorded a demo for a few other tracks. Mm-hmm. This guy, his name is Mikael Alonso, Alsmika. Mm-hmm. And he lives here on Island. And he was very pleasant to me. He was like, that is a song you need to record. I'm going to give you the beat. It's my gift. You don't have to pay me. I'll give you the beat. Of course, I split the rights with him. So,
Yeah.
you know. But he was like, I believe in that song because he felt that. So
Artist supporting artists.
that is what that song was, you know.
Nice.
And it's something that came out of being in a situation where I was surrounded by a lot of people. But that song gripped everybody that was in that room because we could all feel that sometimes. And that's what that was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Thank you.
It just reminded me why these type of settings are important because sometimes when you know the story, when you know the background of a song, it makes you like the song more. It makes you want to listen to it, hear it, and play it for yourself to reflect on even more now that you hear the story. So again, I keep on saying the layers and layers and layers, but sometimes we take it at a surface level, and then when you hear the story, you're like, oh wait, let me go back and now listen to it properly now, and then you take it in even more. Let's move on to the next song.
Before I do, I gotta say, big up
Okay.
to Izzy. Izzy, I see you there. We're working on a video for this right now. We've been shooting this video for a year now. But when it come out, you guys are gonna be very surprised. We're doing something that I never did before for this video.
Okay.
And yes, come on, Simple. I've done that so many times, bro. That ain't new. Yeah, come on, bro. That ain't nothing new. Yeah, like, I mean, you do what it takes, you know. This song is called Of the Essence.
Okay.
I recorded this one in Guyana originally, around the same time that I wrote that other song. Before I wrote that other song. And I refined it when I was in Barbados. It was a storm that was passing, and we thought it was gonna hit St. Martin. And I was just thinking about different songs. There's 3 songs I recorded that day, and this is one of them. This is called Of the Essence.
There we go.
All right?
Yeah.
Give it out for me, kind of.
So like a nice little, you automatically just start swaying.
Yeah.
So sway.
I made that beat also.
This one?
Yeah.
Time is of the essence, better control bless. Cause there be a lasting void. Time is of the essence, better control bless. Cause there be a lasting void. Can't find a peace within, so you bring your outside in. No matter the place you're in.
Cannot seem to find that thing to fill up that hole that stings. So at night you cry and think. So you move to a next land, do the work early morning, skipping breakfast, just to find your destiny. Whatever that you believe, I be feeling just like me. Who are you? Who are you to disagree? Time is of the essence, better count your bless. Cause there be a next thing, boy. Time is of the essence, better count your bless. Cause there be a next thing, boy. There's a violin in here.
May I hear something like a piano, like an organ?
There's an organ.
There's
With
an
a violin? In the party, time is of the essence, better count your bless. Cause there be a next thing, boy. All right. You guys think of that one? You like that one? Yeah.
So what,
You like that one, Mims?
what the chorus saying? Time is of the essence.
Time is of the essence. Better count your blessing, because there'll be a next thing.
Nice.
Yeah. So
the
it's
message.
about reinforcing the movement. You know, we can't afford to be stagnant. We can't afford to just be there and just accepting things. You got to keep pushing. Exactly. That's part of trust yourself. So it's all about upliftment. This project really, breaking it down to build it back up. You
Nice.
know. There's a violin in there. I hired a real violinist to play in the background.
Oh, you did
So,
not
yeah.
instrumental violin. You
Yeah.
like have somebody come in.
Yeah. So I made that beat, recorded on it the same day I made the beat, and I sent it out to someone. I was like, "Yo, can you drop some violins on this?" She was like, "Sure," and boom, that's how that got done. And I'm so happy because, you know, it guides a little bit.
So then I think what I'm realizing, now I'm going to have to do this with music that I listen to from here moving out, is they have the obvious sounds. Like you mentioned with soca. You hear the horns, like road music, you hear the horns, you hear the drums, you hear the, I can't think of another
There's a bass,
Instrument.
there's the keyboards, yeah.
but you hear the music, like sometimes it just sticks out to you, obvious. And then you like, for me personally, when I hear that in a song, I love the song more because I like live instruments. So then when you pointing out this, I'm like, oh, but he's saying a violin, but I ain't hearing a violin. Then I start to pay attention. I'm like, oh wait, I hear the organ. I hear an organ sound. And you tell me they have an organ in there. I was like, okay. Then I hear the violin. I was like, oh, they got a violin in there for true. So I think moving forward now, I'm going to be listening to songs, probably specifically yours, but just in general, for that live instrument sound, because the machines can make the music and it can sound awesome, but there's something about live instrument, a live sound that captivates and gets you. So now I have to listen even
Deeper, right? Yeah,
stick my hair giving people work.
yeah.
Living even deeper.
You always
to the
learn
music that's
something
going
hanging
on.
around me, you know? That's the thing. That's the thing.
We have an audience still on vibes. Anybody questions, comments? No, we good? Woo, let's
right.
go. We're going to the next one.
So this is the last one from Trust Yourself.
All right.
There's three songs.
There's
No,
more
there's
songs,
more
but we're
than
only
three
going to play
songs on
3 of
Trust
them.
Yourself. You only get in 3 of them.
If you're a good boy, you might get extra one.
Alson is never a good boy,
No,
so.
no, never. He's like, he already walked away. He was like, dying out.
We already know.
Oh my God, bro. I mean, you know.
You know your audience.
You know.
Exactly that. You know your audience.
So this song is called Sometimes I Feel I Gotta Get Away. I also made this beat.
Okay.
And you guys let me know what you think about it, all right? I don't want to say too much.
Here we go. Is rainfall?
Sometimes I feel I gotta get away, oh. Sometimes I feel I gotta get away, oh. Sometimes I feel
Third time, he takes a pause. There's a small, like 3/8 of a note pause. And the third thing says sometimes I feel, and that's Bob Marley. It's like Bob Marley does it in like 3 songs. Like he says the lyric, and the third lyric he.
It's like a pause.
And then says the lyric.
It's almost like a pause.
You did it. I love that, bro. I love that. Yeah.
The beginning of that office.
I'm happy you guys like that one.
You like Bashar, you got a channeling those kind of energies.
Is that good or a bad thing? Like, I don't know.
It's good. You have a comment?
Particular song, are you going to make, do you have any kind of visual translation to make up?
Come on, Javon. You know we work on these things together. What's wrong with you, bro?
That song?
I mean, if time allows for us to be able to do it.
Time is a human construct.
I agree.
You have to do something with that one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Izzy, you wanted to say something?
No, that was it. I second it.
Yeah.
I second that.
Yeah.
It's ASAP.
Like Vagina Girl Deep. You really listen to it?
It's a deep song.
Vagina Girl Deep.
It's a deep song, but this is what everybody just heard a Vagina Girl part, and they're just thinking that it's just about sex. It's not about sex. It's really about love and about, but.
All right. Yeah. All right. So guys, thank you guys for coming out. I noticed the last song got a lot of reflection, a lot of discussion, a lot of things happening. Yo. So it proves it's a good thing you get them a little taste.
Yeah.
So when it drops officially, we'll all be looking out for it.
I got Spanish song in there too. I just didn't let y'all hear it.
They're hearing the Spanish song. We're going to leave them wait on the Spanish song.
Yeah, they'll hear it when the project comes
wait on the
out.
Spanish song. Now, this is going to be the official wrap-up, guys. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves. I definitely enjoyed having the live audience with the feedback and the, what do you call that? Yes, the interaction. With the interaction. Sigma, thank you for this.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure.
Always.
You know how we stay.
Yeah,
already.
man.
One of the best schools by far, so we
yes,
expect
I know.
nothing less.
Gain fame and recognition wherever we are.
This is what we're doing. So guys, with that, definitely make sure, I know I don't have to tell you guys, but for official reasons, definitely make sure you check out Sigma's work when it comes out. Blame yourself. If you don't listen to it already, you definitely should. When Trust Yourself comes out, and I feel...
When is Trust Yourself?
He will let you know when
Where
it's
you
going
get
to
cake
come
from,
out.
bro? Where you get food from?
And this is why he had walked away, because he knows that he never does speak.
That's okay, bro. I'm going to put you on the spot like that.
So when Trust Yourself comes out, we're going to look out for that one. And then Love Yourself. That one
is
will
a little
come
later, yeah.
a little bit later. And definitely have to do the shameless plug. Check out Sit, Sip, and Chat every Monday at 5 and every Wednesday at 8:30 on TV 15. Or you can just follow me on YouTube, GCY Initiative. And I have all the episodes out there, as well as different videos that I do as well. Also on social media, GCY Initiative. You can find me everywhere that I do it. Also definitely check out my production team, Great Bay Media, Raw Caribbean. Management does have to help me out sometimes. Make sure to check out Great Bay Media as well as Raw Caribbean, which is also on YouTube. Check out all of the different productions that they put on. If you're interested in having visuals for anything that you have going on, definitely make sure to check them out. Tell them you heard from me, though. Specifically, tell me you heard it from me, and that's why you're coming to them. I also have to earn my keep. Guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for supporting the initiative. And again, thank you to Axum Art Cafe for hosting us also. And yeah, I think that's it. Until the next time, my people, thank you for being here. We'll see you at the next one.
Zagazo. Bless up.